This week on the Bowser Journal, we start off a series where we take the Grandboys to Washington, D.C. This week's episode is going to be about the road trip. 17 hours in a car with 3 Grandboys. What fun. But first, I got to get it home from Seattle. Hey, wait! Who are you in my car?
What the?
You see this? He brings himself breakfast, but he doesn't bring me anything. Thanks, Kevin.
Good morning.
Left turn.
Oh, hello, courtyard. Goodbye, courtyard.
Who needs GPS when you got directions by Kevin? So, Kevin, do I need to get permission from you to use the footage you just shot with my GoPro?
It's all yours, brother. Use it how you want.
I have free and unlimited use, copyright use.
Even of my face. No, in the tunnel. Fuck you. Fuck you! It's not allowed at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Why ain't it?
I don't remember, but I'm sure there's a good reason.
Nah, too late. It's going in the blog. We're only doing 25 miles an hour. Oh, hello.
Good morning.
Going, babe? Guys?
What do you want to see when you get to Washington, D.C.?
Snow? I don't know if you'll see
This is
snow.
spring break. You don't want to see the White House or the Pentagon or...
I want to go to see the museum. The museums? Are y'all excited at 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Smile, Levi. I'm taking your picture.
And so started the journey. The boys are really good. Mostly because, as soon as I got on the road within a few seconds, they were all asleep. This is not how I travel with small children. I typically travel at night while they're sleeping, but this time I didn't have a choice. And this was the first of many construction zones or accidents. This reminded me why I don't drive long distances. We did manage to have some fun on the road. We got to play the game, how many south of the border billboards can you spot on the way north?
South of the billboard!
South of the billboard!
You were supposed to call those.
See, look, they're south of the border. See? It's right there. Isn't that cool?
I did. Puppy just drowned me out.
South of the border report, 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 south of the border report.
This is south of the border.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Josh, that's in your job.
Oh, man, I missed our exit. Oh,
It
man.
looks dead. Please don't jerk in the last minute. South of the border is a roadside attraction on 95 South, right at the North Carolina and the South Carolina border. It's kind of like a carnival-ish, campish kind of place. They usually stop and get gas there, and the boys never seen it before, so you know how to do it. Plus, I had to clean the windows for the car, so the GoPro would get clean footage for the rest of the trip. So we arrived in D.C. about 9:30 at night, safe and sound, just in time to get a good night's rest to go to D.C. tomorrow. Welcome to Chuck's tour of Washington, D.C. I'm obligated by the Department of Transportation to tell you to sit down and keep buckled up. Please keep talking to a minimum because other people in the car may be trying to hear the funny stories that I am articulating. Three things that's sticking up into the sky. That's actually called the fleur de lis. It's supposed to represent three airplanes going up in the air doing like an air show. How sometimes they'll go up and they'll kind of curl out. That's what it's supposed to represent. It's really not nice. Up ahead of us is the Pentagon. It's also the world's largest office building. It has 7 stories. It has over 10 million square feet of office. Poppy Chuck used to work there. Used to do cabling in that building. That's this building right here.
Up ahead, you'll see the Washington Monument. If you notice, the stone actually appears to be in 2 different colors. The reason it's in 2 different colors is because they started building the monument, they had to stop during the Civil War. After the Civil War ended and they started to resume construction about 20 years later, the pit where they were pulling the stone from, it kept operating, and they got deeper in the pit, so the stone was a different color. We are now getting ready to cross what's called the 14th Street Bridge. If you look down to the right, you will see National Airport. If you look to the left, you will actually see the bridge that the airliner hit when it hit the 14th Street Bridge many years ago. Everybody died on that plane except for about 7 people, one of which was the stewardess, who was the sister of somebody that Poppy Chuck used to work with. On the left right there, you see the Jefferson Memorial. That's the round dome. This building you're coming up here on the left-hand side is the Department of Treasury. In the basement of that building is where they print money. You can actually get tours to go through there. Uncle Peanut used to do cabling in that building. One day he was taking a break and he was eating his lunch on his pallet that was filled with a bunch of stuff, and one of the guards came up and said, "Would you mind not sitting on our money?" This building with a curved facade on the front of it is the Holocaust Museum. When it first opened up, you could only get in there by appointment only. This building, the red building here, and the building on the side are the Department of Agriculture. They do, I don't know, agricultural stuff. This small little building over here on the left-hand side, that's where you get the tickets to go up to the monument. It's free to go up to the top of the monument, but you need tickets in order to go up to the top. When Poppy and Mimi were first dating, Poppy got some tickets so he could take her up and romance her at the top of the Washington Monument. And then I'm talking.
Okay.
So I got some tickets so we can. I don't see him. So I could take her up and romance her. I quickly then lost the tickets, and I still get harassed to this day about losing those tickets. And on the right-hand side, you see a police officer. And the K9 on the side means there's a dog in the back of that car.
His name's Bodie.
Not the kind that you want to pet.
I want to pet him.
I would have had him.
Bodie.
And this police officer with his flashing light must have recognized Chucky from his previous days. And he's going to pull Chucky over and give him a ticket.
They're having some kind of parade down?
That's the World War I memorial right there. Trivia fact,
World War I was not called World War I when they were fighting it. It was called the Great War. You know why they called it the Great War?
Yeah, because it was a big war.
Because they thought it was a war to end all wars. They didn't think there'd be another one. See this gas station here? Poppy Chuck got gas there one time. I remember what else I said, to be honest with you. Poppy Chuck, when he was younger, he used to ride his motorcycle to and from work every single day. One day, Poppy Chuck was riding his motorcycle down this very road, but in this direction. It was in the middle of the winter time, and I was extremely cold. My hands were starting to get frostbit. So I took my one hand off the handlebar and was shaking to try to get the blood moving in it, and my wedding ring fell off my hand while I was doing about 35 miles an hour, hit the gas tank of the motorcycle, bounced up to about my eye level, and then landed back in my lap while I was doing 35 miles an hour on this road. Another trivia fact about Washington, D.C. is the fire trucks don't carry maps on the fire trucks. You know why? Because you don't need a map to navigate Washington, D.C. The Washington, D.C. is done with the roads are done with a series of numbers and letters. Roads with numbers, like 1st Street, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, go north to south. Letter streets go east to west. And then it goes to the alphabet. So it goes A Street, B Street, C Street, D Street. Guess what comes after D Street? E Street. Very good. Once you use up the alphabet, then the roads begin with words with single syllables. Again, following the alphabet. And then when you run out of those, then they go to words with multiple syllables. So you don't need a map to navigate Washington, D.C. This building up here on the left-hand side is the, Office of Personnel Management. Poppy Chuck used to do cabling in that building. I once applied for a job to work in that building. They promptly turned me down.
Hey, what's that? That statue, that Babe Ruth right there?
That's a statue of a bunch of baseball players with big butts.
If you like me and Papa Chuck's contacts, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell button for notifications.
Say bye-bye.
Say bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Say bye-bye. There's a camera right there. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
So make sure you join us on the next episode where we go to see the museums of American and natural history.